Good morning, my friends, and happy Sunday. I know a lot of you are probably sitting around with maybe in your PJs, maybe you dressed up for church like I did, but you're sitting around, you got your coffee, you got your pastries, you got your blankies, whatever, you're waiting for your church services to start. And if you do come back and catch this on the replay, I will go back in the description of this video and I will link some of my favorite services that I watched today, hey Robbie, later, so that you can go back and watch some other services. But before you hop on to your church service, I wanted to just share something with you really quickly. I'm going to do something I've never done before, and to be honest with you, I'm like extremely nervous. So I chat with you guys all the time on here. But today, I want to share with you a little message, and then I'm actually going to try to share a song. And for those of you guys that know me, I do lead worship at my church a lot. The very first Sunday we were supposed to cancel was going to be my very first time to lead completely by myself. I had downloaded all my music, and then obviously all this happened. But I also go to other churches and share music. And one of my very ever favorite, hey Hillary, hey Courtney, messages or songs is by an artist. Her name's Ginny Owens. And if you don't know her, you're going to be blown away by her story. She was blind by the age of 3. She had a degenerative eye disease that made her blind by the age of 3. But she went on and she studied, and I've got some notes here because I want to make sure I get the information correct, but she learned to play piano. She graduated from Belmont University, and she actually wanted to be a music teacher and a choir director. And she moved to Nashville, Tennessee, and she was trying to get a job as a choir director. And they were really apprehensive about hiring her. They wouldn't hire her because they didn't believe that she could actually maintain a classroom because she was blind. And so then she was like sitting there and she's like, oh gosh, Lord, did I pick the wrong career? Am I following the wrong path? What do you have for me? I thought I was supposed to be a music teacher. And she ended up getting a recording contract, you guys, and she started writing songs and performing. And she also teaches now. She does teach, but because the doors were closing on her, and she couldn't do what she really wanted to do. And so the reason I bring up her story is just because one of her very first albums, one of her very first songs, it's If You Want Me To. And back when I had Colton's birthday was this week, so I was kind of thinking about this. When you were in labor 19 years ago, you didn't have a smartphone with music on it. You didn't have all this fancy stuff, but I took a CD player with me, a portable CD player, and her CD was the one that I took with me into labor. So I was singing this song during labor with Colton. And so what she says, and it's so true for me too, is every time that you sing this song, or that she sings this song, it means something different to her. She's in a different season of surrender, but she wrote it during this particular season of, God, what is it that you have for me? What am I supposed to be doing with my life? Okay, and so she said in that season, she learned surrender. And that trusting and knowing Him is about giving everything to God and knowing that we don't know the next step and we don't know what's around the next corner. None of us do, you guys. None of us know what's on the next corner. We might speculate, we might plan, but as we've seen in recent months, you guys, our plans can be canceled at a moment's notice due to things that are beyond our control. So I'm not telling you not to plan. I'm just saying that you need to know that as you're following the plans may change, okay? And if you love this, I hope you share this out because I would really love this message to receive, or for anyone to receive this message that really needs some encouragement today. And so she says, in order to trust Him, we all have to blindly let Him lead us through. And I thought that was really interesting because she's obviously physically blind. But what she's saying is we're all blind to the future and we all have to let go and trust God. And like I said, I took the CD with me during labor with Colton. I sang it to cross so many times in the NICU. You guys, the nurses probably there know it. I've sang this song so many times over the years, and I find myself, I'll sing it a lot of times in the shower. Like if I'm just discouraged or I'm confused or I don't know what's happening in the future, it's just a song that I've always clung to. And like she says, it means something different to me in every season, but it really relates to what we're all going through right now. And so, you guys, learning to trust God is hard, even when things are going the way we want them to. It's hard to trust Him, even when we're on the path that we want to be on. But it's even harder when we can't see the future and we're struggling, we're grieving, and we're hurting. And you guys, we all struggle. We all struggle to surrender, and we all struggle to believe in a God that we can't see. Christians don't have some kind of magic power, you guys. We all struggle to believe in this God that we can't see. And I know that it's hard in the midst of your uncertainty and your sadness and your suffering to see that He has our best interest in heart, but He really does. He really does. He is all powerful, but He's also an all loving God who has incredible things in store for all of us. And she says, a journalist asked her about the purpose of challenges in life. And I thought this really relates to what we're going through right now. She said, "No, your darkness has a purpose. Your trials have a purpose to strengthen and deepen you as you write your own colorful story." It all means something, you guys. All of this means something. And she says, when you have a challenge of any sort, it's very easy to isolate yourself. And you know, we are all physically isolated right now. And she says, you want to hide from the world. You feel that there are people that you can't be yourself with, but she's learned in the power of community when you're going through struggles, and it's important to reach out to your community. And so, you guys, I know we can't physically gather today at our churches, but we are still reaching out to our communities. We are still connecting with others through Facebook. I'm connecting with you. I'm sharing this message of hope, and we can still all help each other get through this. So like I said, if you like this, please share it out so that you can offer this message of hope and encouragement to someone else. Hey, you guys, I'm sorry I'm not saying hi. I want to get to the song so you guys can get to your worship services. So like I said, I will go back after this video and I will link different services today that, like, my church is the First Baptist Church of Paris. I will link some of the messages from town, and I also love Maryland Community Church, so I'll link some of those services in the description later and you can find those. And so the one last thing I want to say before I sing, and that is, you know, right now we're really focused on, some of us are really suffering and some more than others, right? Some of us are just staying home and it seems like suffering, but it's not actually real suffering, right? But some of us have suffered job loss, illness, we've lost people, we can't be where we want to be. You know, we've all suffered in some way due to this, but I want to remind you that our suffering, we don't suffer alone, you guys. Jesus suffered. And we're getting ready to approach this Easter season. Today's Palm Sunday. And so I just want to remind you that Jesus suffered emotionally, he suffered physically, and he ultimately paid the price for our sins by giving his life for us. So he is not distant to suffering. He does understand it. He can relate. God understands your suffering, okay? And so, I mean, if you think about it, God was betrayed by his disciple, Judas. He was abandoned by his followers. He carried the burden of the sins of the entire world. He was falsely accused and rejected by the Jewish leaders. He was mocked and abused by the Roman guards. He was crucified between two thieves, and his body was pierced with a spear. Like, after he died, you know, they pierced it to make sure that he was dead, and blood and water ran out, you guys. And it says the evidence that the spear pierced the pericardium, which is the sac around the heart. And so Jesus has literally broken his heart for us. Okay, he was literally broken for us. And he tasted death for all of us. And so I just want to remind you that, you know, Jesus suffered for us. So they understand. God, Jesus in one, right? He understands suffering. Okay, we're not alone, and it is part of this world. And he never promised us that we wouldn't suffer, but he promised us that we wouldn't ever have to do it alone, okay? And so I've chatted long enough. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do share this out. And like I said, this is the part I'm nervous about. It's so funny because I used to sing at church and I would say, I would always I'm always nervous, but not as nervous to sing someone else's song, someone else's words. But I was scared to death to talk. Oh gosh, I'm getting a frog in my throat now. In recent years, I've been able to share a message that goes with the song. And so on Facebook, I've been sharing with you guys lots and lots of messages, but no songs. So this is a lot of my comfort zone today, but I've prayed a lot about it. And so I hope you enjoy, and do go enjoy those services today and have a blessed week, okay? So let's see if we can get this. Sorry, technical difficulties, even at home. The pathway is broken and the signs are unclear, and I don't know the reasons why you brought me here, but just because you love me the way that you do, I'm gonna walk through the valley if you want me to. 'Cause I'm not who I was when I took my first steps, and I'm clinging to the promise that you're not through with me yet. So if all of these trials bring me closer to you, and I will go through the fire if you want me to. It may not be the way I would have chosen when you lead me through a world that's not my home. But you never said it would be easy. You only said I'd never be alone. Yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. So when the whole world turns against me and I'm all by myself and I can't hear you answer my cries for help, I'll remember the suffering your love put you through, and I will go through this darkness if you want me to. You guys, thanks so much for hanging in with me. I want you to have a very blessed day, a blessed week. Like I said, I will link those other sermons, so I hope you will come back and watch them. Feel free to link your church's sermons in the comments below if you'd like to. We'd love to share those as well. And I just pray that God blesses you and keeps you all healthy and safe. Have a fabulous week. And if you want some prayer that you don't want to comment in the comments below, please reach out and send me a private message, and I will get you added to my prayer list. You guys have a blessed Sunday, and I will talk to you again soon. Love you all. Bye-bye.